Welcome to CHMA, broadcasting from Sackville, New Brunswick, Canada. You are listening either on 106.9 FM in the Tantramar area or at www.chmafm.com.
Which is on the internet.
Big old ones and zeros.
It's full of cats.
It is full of cats. There's a lot of cats on there.
Just found that out.
You didn't know it was...
No, I knew before, but a cat just ran through the studio, and I thought I should acknowledge its presence.
Yes.
By remarking how many of its kind are on the interweb.
Yeah, that one's on the internet quite a bit, too. That's Air Traffic Controller Wolf, who, as soon as you walked in, wanted pets, and you haven't given him to her.
Well, no. Because if I pet the feline and then touch my face...
Yeah, it's not good for your face.
No, my face is opposed to that.
So is Wolf actually opposed to not getting pets, but it's unfortunate. This is Ground Control at YMC Midgic Airport. You're joining myself, Air Traffic Controller Thomas.
Oh, and me, Air Traffic Controller Luke.
And Air Traffic Controller Wolf as well. Join us for the next hour as we watch the skies, listen to some tunes, chat, and we'll be done by and by. Luke!
Yeah?
Weather!
Oh, we just dodged a hurricane.
Oh, are we done? Are we out of the hurricane?
Tropical storm. Yeah. Come on.
It's done?
It's done. It's over.
I haven't even looked at the forecast. I just knew that we're supposed to get hit by a tropical storm at some point, and I went, okay. And then, since I haven't heard or seen anyone freaking out about it, I haven't cared.
So, folks, while I recognize that it's 6:03 live time,
yes,
this is pre-recorded live.
Of course.
In this instance, on Friday.
Yep.
So we're waiting. It started raining, but I don't think it's going to materialize.
Oh, so we might go back in time, and we could be like totally wrong. Like,
no, we could be under. Like, listen,
under the water.
We've changed this from a weather prediction,
just
or a weather forecast to a weather discussion.
Yes.
And this is going to go through, and by the time this airs, it's probably going to be sunny out, and this week's going to be lovely.
Good for hay.
Well, not this weekend.
No, we don't want wet right now.
Well, like, it's okay to get some rain. I mean, a lot of farmers now waiting on their second cut of hay. So it's kind of
the cow corn season, isn't it?
Yeah, that's probably approaching pretty soon. Yeah,
you should start asking about the cow. I'll start asking about the cow corn
before next week. I'll get a report.
A cow corn report. Who else is doing cow corn reports here at CHMA? That's my question.
If there's another show covering
cow corn,
I'll happily step back. But if not...
Well, this is where you're going to get your information about cow corn in Tantramar and the Tantramar area.
Start next week.
So you'll think, it's just going to pass us by. It's going to be in the rear view.
A little rain. It's going to be enough to like grow the grass, and that's what we're doing.
I did say, mow Mondays. I've been doing it. And I did say to my lovely, beautiful wife earlier today that I saw some people mowing the lawn, and I was like, I'll mow the lawn, post storm, at post once they get their nutrients. I'll give them a little cut after that. Hey, we're gonna listen to a tune.
Okay.
What do you want to listen to?
Oh, I got a new Mo Kenny jam in there, just recently.
Oh, it's hot
released.
Off the presses.
Yeah,
like a fresh jam. Is it a jam?
I listen. You listen to it.
Okay, and I'll put it in a category or multiple categories.
Yeah, totally. Place it in the Venn diagram.
Totally. So here's Evening Dream with Mo Kenny.
Thought
Yeah, vibe. Hard vibe. Easy vibe.
Center of the vibe. Circle in the Venn diagram.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Vibe out of vibe.
Vibe out of vibe.
Yeah, that's the rating
the
scale.
Primary.
Yeah.
The
Plutonian form.
Plutonium?
Yeah, Plutonian, like Pluto.
Yes.
His like idea of like everything has an essence.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
That song is.
I was jumping to the planet.
Yeah, no.
And I was like, is gravity really high? Does it compress vibes on
that
Pluto?
Place would have no gravity.
Because it's way out there, and it's
way
tiny
out there and very small comparatively. Yeah.
So the vibes are larger on Pluto.
I think the vibes.
If you took a vibe from Earth and sent it to Pluto, could a single vibe take the whole planet over?
I think so.
Oh, only one way to find out.
Only one way to find out.
NASA
or Elon. No, NASA was sticking with NASA.
You know what? Like, I think Elon and I agree on. I've said this to you personally before. Agree on almost nothing except our choice in classic sci-fi lit.
Yes.
Both big Asimov fans.
Yes.
Both fair. Well, I know he likes Douglas Adams. I'm not sure if he ranks him as high as I do. So if you were going to be like, listen, we want to take over a planet with a song, yeah, Elon,
he might be the guy to.
He might, if you could pitch it in the right way.
Yeah,
he might. We're sending a PA system to Pluto,
to Pluto on SpaceX. That's his company, right? SpaceX.
That sounds right.
Yeah. Hey, we're going to talk about sports.
Oh.
There's a big sport thing going on in Paris still. Well, by the time this comes out.
River swimming.
What?
River swimming.
River swimming? That's one of the things happening.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for some. Did you hear some athletes got sick from swimming in the river?
Can you imagine being a competitive athlete over there, living in the athlete cubicles, and the person next to you was someone who had to swim in the sand, and you're supposed to have like the performance of your life the next day. Your biological clock's all messed up because you think you're supposed to be in Canada, but you're in France, and you're up all night listening to your cubicle mate hurling.
Oh, yeah. That wouldn't be fun, would it?
No.
But everyone knows the Olympics are going on right now, and I found a cheeky little list I wanted to run by you. Okay, so I did not curate this list. This list was curated by curation mogul BuzzFeed. Because I don't really create anything, but they do
listicles. They create listicles.
Yeah. So these are all sports that were once in the Olympics, but no longer in the Olympics. And I want you to give me a scale of from 0 to 10 on how much you want this particular sport back.
Should I preface this by saying I have watched 0 minutes of the Olympics?
No.
Okay. People don't need to know that.
You might watch the Olympics more if these
sports were included?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll see, okay?
Yep.
So 0 out of 10. You
Float
can ask
me a sport.
You can ask me one question about the sport, and I'll answer each of them.
All I get's the name and one question?
The name and one question. You don't need to use the question if you don't want to.
Okay.
Okay. Tug of war.
Yeah, good sport.
Right?
Bring back the tug of war. I feel like
0 to 10. 0 to 10. How much do you want it back?
7.5.
Yeah, I think it's pretty high up there for me too. I would probably give it an 8 or a 9.
Well, and like think of all the big boy ex-football players.
Oh yeah.
Who might not be able to have head impacts, would give you something to work on.
Yeah.
And then put them up against like the sumo wrestlers.
Oh yeah.
And then put them up like there's
rugby players. I love it.
Yeah. All right.
Tug of war. So that was in from 1900 to 1920. I think it should come back as well. Next one. Solo synchronized swimming.
That seems like a very silly concept. It's like dancing in the water.
Is this your question?
No. I think regardless of what you do from here, the likelihood, like, give it a 3.
3. Not a big fan of it coming back.
No, but for some people might really enjoy it. So I'm giving it a couple just to.
life-saving.
Am I right to assume this? We're still talking about an aquatic sport. Like this is a measure of life, lifeguard skills.
Is this your question?
Yes.
Essentially, yes. Like, life-saving is still actually a real sport that takes place at the World Games, which is like the off-brand of the Olympics. But yeah, it was in the 1900 Olympics, and yeah, it's essentially like, you know, your life-saving skills. So other things you've seen in like I believe in like fire.
Yeah, some of the people who train for those fireman competitions.
Yeah, exactly. It would be stuff like that.
No joke.
No, absolutely no joke at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, life-saving.
Yeah, I'll give that like a 4.
4, sure, a little bit higher than.
Yeah, I'm getting if that and solo synchronized swimming. I might even swing to a 4.5.
Just a little bit higher.
Yeah.
Yeah. Synchronized swimming is a 3. You can change that later if you want as well.
Right.
Next one, ski ballet.
I've seen snapshots of ski ballet, and like I used to ski maybe a half dozen times in winter, like downhill.
Sure,
and it was. Like, it's one of those things it's easy to be okay at, but like anything, it's really, really hard to be really good at. And when you see people like the short shots of the old ski ballet, it was like, oh, these are very, very, very good skiers.
Yeah, so, very, very good athletes.
You know, and actually in the Winter Olympics, I was discussing this the other day with one of my coworkers at my other job that like. Winter Olympics got the cooler sports.
Yeah, a lot of them are, yeah.
Yeah.
But we're Canadian, I think, like...
We're bred to think that.
We're
more successful at those, so
and they're just very accessible around here, where they aren't as accessible in other parts of the world, right?
Yeah. Would you try a bobsled?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Because I said that the other day to someone I know. Like, I'm at this point in my life, if someone's still like, this bobsled's about to go down this bobsled run, you want to hop in? I'd be like, heck yes.
Yeah.
And if they're like, we don't even have a helmet your size, I might still be like, I'll be okay.
No, I wouldn't. Not at that point. I need the safeties to be there, but...
Yeah, well, like, it's obviously better.
Yeah.
But if you're putting me between two people who do this, like, all the time, they know they have a rookie on board. They're probably not going to cry like that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, if it's...
Doesn't mean you shouldn't wear a helmet, folks.
Totally.
But anyway, winter sports, much cooler. What was the last one you asked me about?
Ski ballet?
Oh, yeah.
Ballet.
Ski ballet is fine.
Out of 10, sorry.
6.
So in between life-saving and tug of war.
6.5. Let it group in. Yeah.
Hot air ballooning.
Ha.
The drivers competed not just for speed, but also to reach the highest altitude.
Ooh. Danger Town.
I shouldn't have gave you that. I should have made that your question.
You could have been my questions.
Dang.
You gave me extra info.
I did.
I'll give it like a 6.
Yeah, it seems kind of okay. Painting and sculpting, that was in the Olympics.
Yeah,
for like 30
there were
years.
music stuff. There were music stuff. Good English stuff. there was musical elements to it.
In
wasn't
antiquity, I think there was musical elements. I'm not sure if there were musical elements in the quote unquote modern version of it.
I would like. When did it restart? When did it be like
18 something? Right? It was like 1890.
I think since the reboot, then there has been music.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, hopefully it comes up in this list.
It seems to me I came across a trivia question one time, and it was like, the only Canadian composer to ever win at the Olympics.
Gold medal, yeah.
And everyone was thinking, like, there must have been a composer who was good at a sport.
Yeah,
but it was like, curveball.
Yeah, it was painting. Yeah, so painting and sculpting from 1912 to 19.
But it was music in this case. I'll look it up off air. Anyway, moral of the story, because I mean, there's skills like athletic skills. It's just like tough to judge that stuff, right?
Really tough to judge it.
And again, the Summer Olympics is full of tough stuff to judge, like all that.
All the floor gymnastics, right?
Yeah, and even like diving and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, there's a lot to it.
Yeah.
So anyway, right down the middle, central tendencies, give it a 5.
Give it a 5 for painting and sculpting. Number 7, live pigeon shooting. Kill as many pigeons as possible.
I was going to ask because like clay pigeons will be you'll hear the term when you're doing like skeet shooting with shotguns.
Yeah, that they are called pigeons. Right?
Yes, but they're not actually pigeons. I assume this
pigeons. These real pigeons.
It could be quite good in LA next time. Like probably a lot of pigeons. No, I'm of two minds about that one.
Mm-hmm.
Like the only reason I know anything about skeet shooting is because I went once with when a friend of mine was having a bachelor party. And
sure.
I enjoyed it quite a bit more than I thought I was going to.
Yeah.
But also like, I don't know. Do I want to watch it live? Give it a 5.
5.
Yeah.
Running deer shooting.
Most deer run when you shoot at them, I would think. I'm not a vegetarian. I'm not opposed to killing animals, but it's not something I want to turn on the TV and watch. It's the same way as I'm into boating, so I get targeted ads perpetually for fishing, and it's like, man, I had fish and chips today for lunch, and that was fantastic.
That's as much you want fish in your life?
Like, and
maybe a goldfish. Apparently, the deer was not a real deer this time.
Oh, faux deer.
Faux deer.
So this is like biathlon summer edition.
Yeah. Rope climbing.
I remember that in gym class.
Yeah, exactly, right?
I don't really. Again, maybe like is rock climbing in the Olympics?
I think so. I think it was introduced at least. I don't know if it's stuck around, but
okay. I just feel like that would be harder.
Yeah,
and require
the same skill.
A similar, yeah. Okay, so give it a 4.
4. Obstacle course race swimming.
This is like American Gladiator in the pool.
I think so.
9.5 out of 10.
9.5 out of 10. Yeah, you want that one back.
Yeah.
Distance diving.
Like like long jump, but into a pool.
Is that your question?
How did one measure the distance in distance diving?
Now, I did look into this one myself. It's not here in front of me.
Yeah.
It is you go into the water, and it is as far as you can go underwater in 1 minute.
It's underwater swimming. Sort of. I would assume you'd start with a run and a dive, though, because it's a...
Yes, I believe there's no, like, swimming afterwards. I think it's just, like, the dive.
Oh, the dive itself. So weird mix of sprinting meets jumping meets sort of...
gliding through water.
Yeah, you know what? That was 6.25.
It was dubbed the dullest sport of all time. 6.25 from Luke.
Well, different people like different things.
Dumbbell contest. That's literally what it's called.
It's called the dumbbell.
It's called the dumbbell contest. Yeah.
It's just to see how heavy a dumbbell you can lift.
I genuinely can't tell.
Okay. Well, listen,
the dude's holding a dumbbell.
It's getting a point. It's getting a 5 just based on the name.
Yeah, totally.
Because I think it would be, good to watch. How
many times do you hear contest in an Olympic sport?
Well, and preceded by dumbbell, which is a funny word. So some of the announcers being all punch drunk from announcing for 70 hours straight is going to come off, and we're coming from the floor routine and heading over to the dumbbells.
We got pistol dueling.
Oh yeah,
you just want that one back.
I know. I'm retracting my earlier hesitancy around firearms when they're used against consenting humans.
Yes. Much better against consenting humans than unconsenting animals.
Yeah, like I can only assume it's like draw at 20 paces type of Western rules, and
I think so, yeah.
Oh, excellent. Yeah. Like, because 7.5 out of 10.
Nice. I'd get that would be like a 9.5 for me.
Really?
I want to see that. Motorboat racing. I swear I did not put this in.
Yeah.
You want it back?
I don't even know what form it would take, but sure.
10 out of 10?
No, because not everyone's going to feel the way I feel about it.
That's fine. This is how you feel about it.
9.6 out of 10 is what I'm giving.
For motorboat racing, we have 3 left, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Pole archery. This one had its own name, Popinjay. Pole archery or Popinjay.
I'm not sure how I can ask a single question and get the required amount of information around this. I'm guessing it's not Polish archers, and I'm guessing it's not people standing on top of a pole practicing archery, nor shooting at a pole.
It's shooting at a pole.
It is.
So there is a few targets at the top of the pole, and you stand at the bottom of the pole, and you shoot the targets.
Huh. Is archery, is there still archery at the Olympics?
Yeah.
I should know this, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, well, since archery is already there, this just seems like a variation on the flavor of existing archery.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give that like a 4.
Okay, we got the last 2. Are you ready?
Sure.
Equestrian vaulting.
Horse high jump?
I think it's horse...
Long jump?
Long jump.
Oh.
Oh, no, sorry. The athletes had to do a whole bunch of creative stuff with the horses, jumping over them, mounting them from straddle, and doing freestyle moves on a horse as it walked.
Well, I know
using the horse as a vault.
Okay, well, I know from the news that breakdancing is testing this year.
Equestrian breakdancing.
Yeah, bring that together.
I think that is an entertaining afternoon to watch.
Yes.
The last one, croquet.
Okay. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. 3.75.
I mean, it's like a straight 0 out of 10. I do not care about croquet at all.
Somebody does.
But I'm not that person.
Someone feels more passionately about croquet than I feel about boat racing.
It's true, but this is my list. It doesn't need to be a 10 on my list because...
Okay.
And if I knew Jim and
Jim was super into croquet,
I'd probably give it a 4 because I'd probably know more about croquet and want to watch it.
All right.
I know.
So you mentioned the powerboat racing in sport in the Olympics.
Yes.
This weekend, that is just completing. So again, right now it's Friday, but it is also right now. This is Sunday.
Sure. So right now are you talking about Sunday?
Yes.
Okay.
Right now, the North American Marathon Nationals will have just finished.
Okay.
So a couple hundred boat racers will have gone to Northern Michigan.
Northern Michigan?
To race
there's big lakes there.
To race the Top O Michigan Marathon.
Mm-hmm.
So boats ranging from 15 to 40 horsepower.
Okay, yeah.
They race over 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
I think the first day is 47 miles, which, this is a napkin math, but call it 85 kilometers in a boat.
Yep.
And then the second day is something very similar.
Mm-hmm.
So you're very nearly 100 miles or 100, let's call it 145, 150 kilometers over 2 days, kneeling in a boat as small as 9 foot and only as big as maybe 13.
Yeah.
Capable of speeds from like 80 kilometers an hour up to almost 150. Yeah,
that's crazy. Endurance race, indeed.
Yeah.
Like the amount of concentration and...
Yeah, and while you're right, they do race through 2 or 3 fairly large lakes, which you can imagine coming into a lake with 3 or 4 foot waves if the wind picks up.
Yeah.
In a 9 foot boat traveling at speed. But even in the larger, like a 12-foot boat, people think, oh, well, it's like that's smaller than your canoe.
Yeah.
And there's no refueling during this race.
Okay, yeah.
So they're leaving with a boat that's either quite handicapped because your boat has been made to work with that extra weight.
Mm-hmm.
your boat wouldn't have been made to work with that extra weight.
Yes.
Or you're finishing with a boat that's very unstable because you made it so it would handle well at the beginning. And, kind of the two schools of thought. Do you set your equipment up to work best when you're at your most tired?
Yeah.
Or do you do it while you're hot and hope to make up enough ground that at the end, when you're... So, yeah, it's quite the thing. So I will be watching this weekend to see how I know why. I guess 3 or 4 people who are competing in this.
Exciting. Well, I'm excited to hear a little report next week about it.
Yeah, see how it went.
Yeah. Hey, do you want to listen to a tune?
Yeah, what you got?
So I got a couple here, but we're gonna go with the Heavyweight Brass Band. This is the album Brasstronomical, which is also
fantastic name.
Yes, I think it's their first song as well, so it's kind of the title track of the album. So we got Brasstronomical is the album. The Heavyweight Brass Band. They were originally, I think, in Toronto, but they have members from every corner of the country, as they say. And we're going to listen to St. James Infirmary Blues, which is an old jazz standard.
Oh.
So here is...
That one in the real book?
That one is in the real book. It is. Here we go. A real book classic, St. James Infirmary Blues.
I went down to St. James Infirmary and I saw my baby there. She was stretched out on a long white table, so cold, so white, so fair. Let her go, let her go, God bless her. Wherever she may be, she's gonna search the wide world over. She'll never find another man as sweet as me. When I die, bury me in straight-laced shoes. I want a box-back coat and a Stetson hat. Yeah, put a $20 gold coin on my watch chain, so the good old boys will know I died standing pat. Hey! horseback clothes and a Stetson hat. Yeah, put a $20 gold coin on my watch tape, so the good old boys will know I died. Standing
Yeah, it was a good little tune. Hey, you know how I said it was on the real book?
It's not. You fact-checked yourself?
I am currently fact-checking myself. It is not in the real book.
Oh, you checked yourself and then wrecked yourself.
No, I'm checking myself before someone else wrecks me. I'd rather wreck myself than someone else wreck me. It's not in the real book volume 3, which I also have in front of me. It is the first book. It is the first tune in the letter S for the real book volume 2. So,
dun, dun.
I knew it was in there. But I have my volume 1 in front of me as you sit. I don't know if that's why you said
everyone has that in their break room. No, I didn't notice.
Yeah, I have literally the real book open. Because I've been practicing jazz tunes because I'm on vacation. So just come in, play some jazz tunes. So are you folks still working?
Yep.
Anyway.
The people in the airport lounge. I mean, there's nothing like classic jazz in an airport lounge.
Yeah, exactly. So I figured that's why you said the real book, and then I've been thumbing through it for the last few weeks, looking at some tunes that I used to play. The brain itch hit me, went like, oh no, St. Infirmary Blues is not in this book. Like as soon as I said, yeah, it's in the book, like almost instantly, I was like, oh, I've got to.
Gonna hear from the people from the people at Jazz.
Yeah, I'm gonna hear from all the jazz people listening to the show. Hey, it's next week, right?
It is next week.
So we have a few things coming up. Hey, on Wednesday, we've had the Climate Imagination Session. What does a sustainable Tantramar look like? That is at the Sackville Commons. It's free from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Sorry, the Sackville Commons is 8 Lawrence Street, if you don't already know. So you can join Quinn McCaskill, and it's an open conversation about what sustainability might look like in Tantramar. On the same day, we have trivia at Bagtown with a $2.50 donation and a drink at the door at 7 p.m. That's at 45 Main Street. Kitchen opens at 5 p.m. Thursday, we got concerts in the park. And hey, we got Scott Hems. He does trivia.
Oh,
that guy. So if you want to go listen to some Scott Hems, I think he's probably doing some folk music. That is 6:30 to 8 p.m. Concerts in the park at the Bill Johnstone Memorial Activity Center. That's every single Thursday, and this Thursday is Scott Hems. Saturday, we have the Wild Bee Workshop, where Dr. Emily Austin and her research team from Mount A, they have an interactive workshop about the native bee population. So, hey, you want to learn more about bees? You can on Sunday.
Bees have had a rough couple years. They need some support.
They do. And if you want to learn more about the bees, you can right here. Next Sunday. That is from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. And again, that's at the Sackville Community Gardens. I got some news, dude.
Okay. What kind of news?
Have you heard of a car called the Brickland?
Yes.
The Brickland turns 50 this year.
Built in St. John, New Brunswick.
And? Minto.
Okay, yeah.
So built in St. John and Minto, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was also built in St. John, New Brunswick.
Yes.
So, only about 3,000 of the cars were ever built.
Mm-hmm.
They were produced in 1974.
All a single model, which do you know the model name?
I do not.
It's an SV1.
Ooh.
Do you know what SV stands for?
I don't.
Safety vehicle.
Oh, no. It wasn't very safe from what I remember.
You have to compare it with the time. So the fact it had, I believe, like bumpers on shocks, so it could, absorb some energy. Sure. And then there was a lot of marketing around because the doors open.
The gull-wing doors.
Gull-wing doors. Yes. And it's like, the structural rigidity of this vehicle is so much higher.
And the gull-wing doors, became big in the DeLorean and in Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Didn't this come out? It would have been around the same time or just before, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but and see, I always confuse this in automotive history because you want to link the two. But the Bricklin was actually an off-child of Malcolm Bricklin, who was responsible for bringing a lot of Eastern Bloc cars to Canada first. So you may have heard of the Yugo.
Yeah.
That would have been where Malcolm had success in automotive before, and probably due to his success in importing those, was able to set up Bricklin. And someone's probably yelling at me that I got this timeline a little wrong.
Sure.
And, whereas John DeLorean became quite famous in automotive circles for using the cars coming across from overseas to be filled with a white powdery substance, which is quite illegal.
Yes, I've heard many stories about Mr. DeLorean.
Yeah.
Quite the infamous man, I'll say.
The automotive sphere is always drawn pretty real.
Eclectic folk.
Yeah, large personalities.
Bricklin enthusiasts
just had a get-together.
There was a get-together, from throughout the world. Brought the cars back to New Brunswick to celebrate the 50-year anniversary. And among the 40 cars was the only black Bricklin with black interior. It was a prototype, never produced. It was a different model. So you said the SV1 was the only model. Well, there is one other. This model would have been called the Chairman, apparently.
Ooh.
Stephen Stratton is the owner. He's also the chairman of Bricklin International, a club dating back to 1976, which has about 240 members. He is from Virginia. The rest of the article is on CBC New Brunswick about the Bricklin, but I find it very interesting that the main designer of the Bricklin.
But it was never sold in New Brunswick, right? Could you? I don't think you can buy. One here. You had to. They were all exported
because he, the designer, set up a shop. I think it says in Virginia. Later, and then after that to Michigan, and it seems like a lot of the Bricklin is kind of centered around Michigan. So I'm wondering if there was kind of an import to northern America, these cars. But the lead designer kind of kept working on them into the 80s and 90s on all of the Bricklins still and making them better and better, and kind of wrote a little handbook that everyone still uses to keep the Bricklins working. And, there's acrylic parts of the car that he was like, okay, well, here are, I made this fiberglass mold instead to put on all the cars.
Yeah. And keep you going.
Yeah, and he kept the Bricklin going up until his death, and it seems like since then more people have kind of taken that up, and part of the car culture, it seems, is to keep some of these machines alive, and it seems to be a pretty healthy community of very strong Bricklin owners who are working together to keep this car around, and I think that's wicked.
Yep.
I love it. And it's funny, every once in a while in St. John, at least, there is a Bricklin for sale. Throughout my life, I have seen many Bricklins for sale.
There's even one in the Tantramar area.
I'm sure there is.
Yes, I know of at least one. There may be more. Anyway.
Yeah. So, they say only 3,000 were ever made, but I feel like a lot of them are still even kicking? if you couldn't buy them in New Brunswick, I think a lot of them have kind of made their way home.
Well, you
here.
see a lot of smaller automobile manufacturers in the 70s and 80s, right? They did a lot of what's referred to in the business as parts bin engineering. So they went to Ford and bought a complete engine.
Yes.
So the engine, it's a 351 Ford, which means that, because Ford made 3 million of them, as long as the rest of the car is serviceable, and especially at a small scale, they wouldn't have designed their own wheel bearing.
Yes.
They would have gotten it from one of the big 4 automotive companies in North America. So, and they would have done the same for brakes. They would have done the same for, yes, the body was entirely different, but a lot of the mechanical components are probably somewhat readily available.
Yeah.
So, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I might get a Brooklyn myself someday. Who knows?
Yeah.
The gull wing doors are cool.
Gull wing doors are cool.
Yeah. What do you got for news?
Oh, well, we just missed it, but like Dorchester.
Yeah.
Putting the power plays on again.
Oh, yeah.
Now that they got both roads open, all three even.
Yeah, all three.
Had a little evening market this week.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, Thursday night, this past Thursday, they, and I think I read it right. They had something like 30 vendors.
That's awesome. Yeah, I heard they were looking for vendors, and I heard it was starting up. Awesome.
So, and I think, and don't get me wrong, I really enjoy going to the Saturday morning market.
Yes, we've seen you there a few times.
But, like, just have something a little different to do on a weeknight.
Yeah, it is nice.
Reason to get out of the house.
Exactly.
Pop out to Dorchester.
Go get some veggies.
There you go.
Go support local. That's what I like. That's what I like. Yeah, having one on Thursday and one on Saturday. Hey, I can support local on Saturday, get all the way to Thursday, and then go support local again to get me to Saturday. It's nice.
To do.
It's really nice. Hey, do you want to play a tune?
Sure.
So I was over at, it used to be called Electric Kitten. It's the music store over in Amherst.
Okay.
I do believe it's changed names.
Now it's the Acoustic Cat. Grown up. Got a little more mature.
Yes, no more Electric Kitty. Acoustic Feline. But there I purchased some banjo strings, and I purchased a CD from a local artist.
Oh?
That local artist is Dylan DeVoe, and I don't know anything about Dylan DeVoe other than I bought his album.
Okay.
So here is Dylan DeVoe, and this song is called Free.
The sun is shining on my soul. Gonna find a new direction. Gonna travel down the road, but we ain't got no place to go. Gonna pick a destination. Gonna head out off the coast. And I believe we will have a time. Nothing else matters. You gotta go hard your whole damn life, 'cause nothing's forever. It's easy to see. You gotta be free to feel alive. By the moonlight glow, fight through precipitation. We're gonna travel through the snow, and anytime the wind shall blow, I'm gonna keep you warm and sheltered so that you never feel alone. And I believe we can go through life without any patterns. The pieces are fixed in our own minds, left open and scattered. It's easy to see. You gotta be free to feel alive. Nothing else matters. You gotta go hard your whole damn life, 'cause nothing's forever. it's easy to see. You gotta be free to feel alive.
Very jam. Pretty jam, pretty vibe.
Yeah, I was going to say there's some vibe overlap to that jam.
Jam and vibe, I think, go together really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
Do what else goes really well together?
A little Midgic Airport followed by...
That's exactly right. Followed by live on KEXP.
Yes, nailed the transition.
Brings you the very best of KEXP's world-renowned live in-studio and remote performances. Each week, we'll bring you a new live session from emerging artists to well-established acts, spanning styles, genres, and cultures. They have had everyone in the world on their show, including Jeremy Dutcher. He's from here.
Yeah.
So Sloan, they've been on as well. As well as... one of my favorite math rock bands. I was talking about them the last couple weeks. Elephant Gym. Have you listened to that performance yet? No, you haven't?
No.
You could check them out all at kexp.org. Right after Live on KEXP, we will bring you Black Atlantic, a primarily Black Atlantic-centric podcast, website, and media channel with the goal of bringing Atlantic POZ voices to the world. Hosted by Clinton Davis and Hilary LeBlanc. You can check them out at blackatlantic.ca. Follow them on Spotify, and you can visit their YouTube page. Finally, we have The Night Shift with Luca Capone.
You never know what you're going to hear with Luca Capone.
You never know what you're going to hear with Luca Capone. Spin a diverse, adventurous mix of sounds ranging from psychedelic jazz to experimental hip-hop with a heavy focus on Canadian and independent artists. You got a gold star?
I don't get to shout out a radio show this week?
No, I guess you do. What radio show do you want this week?
Do you ever get the Thursday... like it's not Friday, but you got the week beat, so you should be picking up, but you can't find the energy to do so?
Yeah.
Tune in at 7 o'clock. Get that radio bonsai.
Yeah.
Classic rock jams.
2-hour show, isn't it?
I think it is, man.
That's a lot of classic rock, but man, Bonsai's been going for like how many years?
30, I think, maybe
That's
more.
awesome,
Just like just a freight train of classic rock.
Yeah.
Just unbelievable.
Unbelievable is right.
And delivered with like quality commentary.
Yeah.
And like you hear it, everyone, we live in a day where everyone's an expert, but like encyclopedic knowledge of the rock.
When you're listening and broadcasting rock and roll for 30 years, you probably learn a thing or two throughout it, eh?
More than a thing or two.
So yeah, Bonsai. Awesome show. Check it out. Yeah. Hey.
Oh, I do have a gold star,
Who's
though.
your gold star?
Giving it out to 3CE, Team Mackenzie Racing out of Nova Scotia.
Oh, yeah.
Traveled all the way from outside of Halifax to Upper Michigan, which is a solid 2-day drive.
Yeah, totally.
To go compete in the Marathon Nationals, which I spoke to earlier.
Totally.
So far as I know, the only Canadians east of Ontario to do so.
Awesome.
I don't believe there's anyone racing this year in Quebec. There is no one in Nova Scotia. There's no one in PEI. There's no one in Newfoundland. There is this single team. I mean, it's father-son duo going up with the boat prepped. The son is going to be racing. So
repping Atlantic Canada.
Bearing the torch.
Yeah.
As it were, in these torch-bearing days.
There's a lot of torch bearing going on right now.
There is. So that they're getting my gold star for...
That's 3
not only
Team Mackenzie, racing
3CE.
Hey, my gold star talking about we've talked about a lot of athletes.
Mm-hmm.
We've alluded to the Paris Olympics a lot.
Yes.
My gold star is going to go to Steve Swallow.
Okay. What athlete, commentator, organizer, volunteer?
Is one of the guys who put together the Real Book.
Oh.
And
You've told me about this before.
If you ever look up I'll just say this. Steve Swallow was one of the guys who was very instrumental, pun not intended, in making the Real Book. What the Real Book is essentially a one book you need to be a jazz musician, where all the tunes that you need to know are in. But he very purposely left off music from a lot of very good composers and put a lot of Steve Swallow tunes in it. And it's really funny. I can remember, like, in the back of my head that, like, St. James Infirmary Blues isn't in the Real Book.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot tell you a single name of one Steve Swallow tune.
There you go.
Not one. So Steve Swallow's getting the gold star
for being
just like a generational hater.
Okay.
Like, his hating levels
are high.
Next, like, dude profited off hatred of other musicians. And, like, don't we all wish to be at that level where we can make money in spite of others?
Listen, do you have a not hateful tune to play us out on?
No, I don't.
Oh.
I really don't.
Well, folks, thank you for listening. Thank you, CHMA, for hosting and broadcasting.
You can check them out at chmafm.com and chmafm on all the socials.
See, I paused so you could say the rough part.
Give us a shout out on all the socials at Midgic Airport, except on X, formerly known as Twitter, which we are at Midgic_Airport. Finally, if you miss an episode, you can catch us anywhere where you get your podcasts. Signing off.
Have a great night, folks.
Mon nom c'est Andy, mais tout le monde m'appelle Candy. Même quand je suis sûr comme un bonbon, j'ai jamais raison, parce que je connais pas grand chose dans vie. Je fais des affaires illégales de manière très amicale. Je sais que le monde va mal, mais pour moi tout est normal, parce que je connais pas grand chose dans vie. À part que le rose c'est joli, autant sur les gens qu'en dedans. Là je parle des vêtements et du sang, bien évidemment que je connais pas grand chose dans vie. À part que les chauves-souris ont des cheveux, c'est curieux, est-ce qu'elle nous aurait menti? Candy, can't you see que je suis candide, qu'en dis-tu toi? Quand tu me vois pleurer de joie, la vie est vide de sens ici. On ne saisit pas la chance qu'on a de vivre à fond à chaque fois. T'as raison, arrêtons de se prendre la tête. Sortons et allons faire la fête. Certes, on vit dans un certain confort, fait que ça sert à rien de se faire du tort avec nos trolls au Sénat, pis le pétrole d'Alberta. Dans les deux cas, ça pue pis ça coûte cher. Ici, on a des gars qui auront plus de salaire parce que demain la shop va fermer. Pourtant tout le monde sait que c'était bien subventionné. La crosse est finie, les boss sont partis vers leur retraite dorée, avec la poudre d'escampette et la poudre au nez. Après ça, on dit que c'est moi le criminel ici. Candy, can't you see que je suis candide, qu'en dis-tu toi? Quand tu me vois pleurer de joie, la vie est vide de sens ici. On ne saisit pas la chance qu'on a de vivre à fond à chaque fois. Arrêtons de se prendre la tête. Sortons et allons faire la fête. Arrêtons de se prendre la tête. Sortons et allons faire la fête. Ok, d'abord, je vais arrêter de m'en faire avec le sort de ma communauté. Même si en Ontario, y en ont pas trop d'écoles franco. S'excuser de vivre en français, c'est comme demander je peux-tu respirer là s'il vous plaît? Mais jamais nous mettrons à genoux. Whatever you tell us to do.
Mais jamais nous mettrons à genoux. Whatever you tell us to do.
Sortons et allons faire la fête. monde est monde, que les bien-pensants montrent du doigt les poils qui dépassent, tout ce qui pousse de travers, à croire qu'ils trouvent ça étrange, que la vie soit faite de plein de choses imparfaites.